Hello, finance class. This is Dr. Scott with the Chapter 11 Excel simulation demonstration. Um, Again, as always, I don't have access to the Excel simulation tasks themselves, so I have to recreate them. So the cell references you use are going to be different than the cell references I use um, because I put them in different cells. For instance, we have our shares outstanding, which is one of the things that we need to know, or that part of the information that we already have for problem number 1. That number will be found in B4. In your exercise, I think it's column D, something in the double digits. So just make sure that you're actually accessing the correct cell reference for your worksheet. So our task, we have 2 problems, both of which are to figure weighted average cost of capital based on the information that we've been given. And we're given 2 different sets of information, so we have 2 different methods. This may bleed into 2 videos, I'm not sure, but I'm going to try to get it all wrapped up within 15 minutes. So the information that we have for problem 1 is shares outstanding, price per share, face value of outstanding bond issue, coupon rate on bonds, maturity on bonds, price of bonds, which is percent of par, weighted average tax rate, next expected dividend, and expected dividend growth rate. Now, from this information, we can figure the before tax cost of equity, the before tax cost of debt, the equity weight, and the debt weight. And we'll use that information to figure our weighted average cost of capital, or WACC. So, how do we figure the before tax cost of equity? Well, that's the easiest one. That is the next expected dividend divided by the price per share plus the expected dividend growth. So, first thing we do is we have an equal sign because that tells Excel to do math for us. And our next expected dividend is B11 for me, divided by price per share, which is B5, plus the expected dividend growth rate, which is B12. Hit enter. The before tax cost of equity is 18.64%. Before tax cost of debt has a few more factors, and we'll use a formula because that is what your assignment asks you to use. Keep in mind that there are commas and negatives and things that can trip you up if you're not careful, so I'll go slowly on this one. The before tax cost of debt is the rate of the maturity of bonds, the negative face value of the outstanding bond issue, times the coupon rate and the price of bonds, divided by 100 times the face value of outstanding bond issues, minus the face value of outstanding bond issues. So this is what that looks like. Equal sign, rate, parentheses, and you see down here it shows us what it wants. So I don't know why I did A7. I must have hovered over something too long. So our N per, our number of, is our maturity rate, which is, or maturity of bonds rather, B8, comma, minus face value of outstanding bond issue, B6, times the coupon rate, which is B7, comma, price of bonds, B9, divided by 100 times face value of outstanding bond issue, B6, comma, minus B6, close parentheses, enter. And I made a mistake. Let's see what it is. It wants to make a, oh, I see what I did. I used an X for times instead of an asterisk. So now let's hit enter and see what happens. Okay, the before tax cost of debt is 10.78%. So next, the equity rate. We figure the equity rate by taking the shares outstanding, multiplying that number by the price per share, and then dividing that by the price per share times the shares outstanding plus the face value of outstanding bond issue times the price of bonds divided by 100. Here's what that looks like. Equals sign, shares outstanding. For me, that is B4, times the price per share, B5, divided by parentheses, price per share, B5, times shares outstanding, B4, plus the face value of outstanding bond issue, B6, times the price of bonds, which is B9, divided by 100, close parentheses. Let's see what we've got. Okay, our equity rate is about 0.82. Now, our debt weight is a little easier. It's the face value, again, times the price of bonds divided by 100, divided by the price per share times the shares outstanding, plus the face value times the price of bonds divided by 100. So this is what that looks like. Equals, face value is B6 times price of bonds, B9, divided by 100, divided by, and it's important to have both of these divided by signs, parentheses, price per share, which is B5, times shares outstanding, B4, plus face value again, B6, times price of bonds, B9, divided by 100, close our parentheses, and see what we've got. So our debt weight is a little over 17%, or 0.17. Now, our weighted average cost of capital is the before tax cost of equity times the equity weight plus the before tax cost of debt times the debt weight times 1 minus the weighted average tax rate. So here's what that looks like. Equals sign. Before tax cost of equity is B15 times our equity weight, for me, is B17, plus before tax cost of debt, for me that's B16, times the debt weight, for me that's B18, times parentheses 1 minus the weighted average tax rate, which is up here in our originally given information on B10. Close the parentheses and see what we've got. So our weighted average cost of capital is 16.61%. Okay, we're almost at the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to do the next problem on another video. But again, this was the Chapter 1 Excel simulation, Problem 1. I'll come back with Problem 2 in another video.